Once upon a time in a small town called Willow Creek there lived a woman named Sarah. She was 32 years old and had been through many relationships. Some were fun, some were sad, but all of them ended. Sarah had given up on love. She focused on her job as a teacher and spent her evenings with her cat Whiskers, who was her only companion. One sunny Saturday morning Sarah decided to go to the local farmer's market. She loved the fresh fruits and vegetables, and it was a nice way to spend her weekend. As she walked through the market she admired the colorful stalls filled with flowers, fruits and homemade goodies. The smell of fresh bread filled the air and the sound of laughter echoed around her. As she picked up some tomatoes she noticed a man across the stall. He was tall with dark hair and a friendly smile. He was talking to an elderly woman about gardening. Sarah felt a little shy but also curious. She wanted to know who he was. After a few minutes the man finished his conversation and started to walk away. In a moment of courage Sarah called out, "Excuse me." He turned around and smiled at her. "Hi, I'm Ben," he said, walking over. "Did you need something?" "No, not really. I just wanted to say I like your smile," Sarah replied, blushing. "Thank you, that's very nice of you to say," Ben said, his eyes sparkling. "I come here every Saturday, do you?" "Yes, I do. I love the fresh produce," Sarah said, feeling a connection. They started talking. Sarah learned that Ben was a graphic designer who had just moved to Willow Creek for work. They chatted for a long time, laughing and sharing stories about their lives. Sarah felt her heart flutter a little, something that hadn't happened in a long time. As they talked, Ben asked, "Would you like to grab a coffee sometime?" "I'd love to get to know you better." Sarah hesitated for a moment. What if this was just another date that would end badly? But something about Ben made her feel safe. "Sure, I'd like that," she replied. They exchanged numbers and said goodbye, both smiling as they walked away. Sarah felt excited and nervous at the same time. This could be a new beginning. That evening Sarah texted Ben. They agreed to meet the following Friday at a cozy cafe in town. As the week passed Sarah found herself daydreaming about the date. She wondered what they would talk about and if they would click. Finally Friday arrived. Sarah spent hours deciding what to wear. She wanted to look nice but also feel comfortable. After much thought she chose a simple blue dress that made her feel pretty. She looked in the mirror and felt a wave of confidence. When she arrived at the cafe her heart raced. The place was warm and inviting with soft music playing in the background. She spotted Ben sitting at a corner table tapping his fingers on his phone. He looked up and smiled when he saw her. "Hey, you look great," he said, standing up to greet her. "Thank you, you too," Sarah replied, feeling her cheeks blush. They ordered the drinks and began to chat. Sarah learned that Ben loved to travel and had visited many countries. He spoke about his adventures with passion and Sarah couldn't help but be captivated by his stories. She shared her own experiences from college days to her love for teaching. As they talked time flew by. They laughed, shared their dreams and even talked about their favorite movies. Sarah felt a connection growing between them. It was easy to talk to Ben and she felt like she could be herself around him. After finishing the drinks Ben suggested they take a walk in the nearby park. The evening sun was setting, casting a golden glow on everything. They strolled side by side enjoying the cool breeze. "Do you believe in love at first sight?" Ben asked suddenly. Sarah thought for a moment. "I don't know. I think love grows over time, but sometimes you feel a spark with someone right away." Ben nodded. "I think you're right. I felt a spark when we met at the market." Sarah smiled, her heart racing. "Me too." As they walked they stopped by a pond where ducks were swimming. They sat on a bench watching the ducks play. Ben turned to Sarah and said, "I really enjoyed tonight. I feel like we have a special connection." "I feel it too," Sarah admitted, her heart fluttering. As the sun dipped below the horizon Ben took a deep breath. "I know it's only our first date, but I want to see you again. I want to explore this connection more." Sarah felt a wave of happiness wash over her. "I'd like that, Ben. I really would." They exchanged stories about their family's hopes and dreams. Sarah felt so comfortable with Ben, like she had known him for years. As the night grew darker they realized it was time to head home. At the end of the evening Ben walked Sarah to her car. "Can I kiss you goodnight?" he asked, his eyes searching hers. Sarah nodded, her heart pounding. Ben leaned in and gently kissed her on the lips. It was sweet and soft and Sarah felt butterflies in her stomach. "Good night, Sarah. I'll text you," Ben said, smiling. "Good night, Ben," Sarah replied, feeling warm inside. As she drove home she couldn't stop smiling. She had never felt this way before. The next few weeks were filled with dates. Ben and Sarah explored the town, visited art galleries and attended concerts together. They shared meals, laughter and stories, deepening their bond. Sarah began to feel alive again, something she hadn't felt in a long time. One evening while they were at a local fair Ben took Sarah's hand and led her to a quiet spot under the stars. "I know we've only been dating for a short time, but I can't help but think about the future," he said, looking into her eyes. Sarah's heart raced. "What do you mean?" "I mean I can see us together. I want to build something special with you," he replied. Sarah felt a mix of excitement and fear. Could this really be happening? "I feel the same way, Ben. I just can't help but worry about getting hurt again." Ben squeezed her hand gently. I understand, but I promise to be honest and open with you. I'm not going anywhere. Sarah smiled, feeling reassured. Thank you, Ben, that means a lot to me. As the weeks turned into months, their relationship blossomed. They faced challenges together, supported each other, and celebrated their victories. Sarah found herself falling in love with Ben, something she had almost forgotten how to do. One evening while they were cooking dinner together, Ben suddenly turned serious. Sarah, can we talk? Of course, what's on your mind? She asked, her heart racing. I want to take our relationship to the next level. Want to be with you for the long haul, Ben said, looking into her eyes. Are you saying what I think you're saying? Sarah asked, feeling a mix of joy and fear. Yes, I want to be committed to you. I want us to be together, Ben said. Tears filled Sarah's eyes as she smiled. Yes, I want that too. They embraced tightly, both feeling a sense of happiness and relief. They knew they were ready to take this step together. As the months passed, Sarah and Ben continued to grow closer. They shared dreams of traveling together, buying a house, and even starting a family someday. Their love for each other deepened, and they felt like they had found their missing piece. One day, Ben surprised Sarah with a weekend trip to the mountains. They hiked, laughed, and enjoyed each other's company. On the last evening of their trip, they sat by a campfire roasting marshmallows. Sarah, this has been the best weekend ever, Ben said, looking at her with affection. I agree. I'm so happy we're together, Sarah replied. Ben took a deep breath, looking nervous. There's something I want to ask. You, what is it? Sarah asked, curious. Ben reached into his pocket and pulled out a small box. Sarah's heart raced as he opened it to reveal a beautiful ring. Sarah, will you marry me? Sarah's eyes widened in surprise and joy. Oh my gosh, yes. Yes, I will, she exclaimed, tears streaming down her face. Ben slipped the ring onto her finger and they embraced tightly. They felt like the luckiest people in the world. From that day on, they planned their future together. They set a date for their wedding and dreamed about their life ahead. Sarah felt grateful for that last first date in the farmer's market, which had led to the love of her life. On their wedding day, surrounded by friends and family, Sarah and Ben exchanged vows. They promised to love and support each other through thick and thin. As they kissed to seal their vows, they knew they had found something special. Years later, as they looked back on their journey, Sarah realized that the last first date had changed their lives forever. It was the start of a beautiful love story filled with laughter, adventures, and a deep connection that would last a lifetime.